Acorn newspapers, publishers of the Greenwich Post, New Canaan Advertiser, the Darien Times, the Ridgefield Press, the Weston Forum, the Wilton Bulletin, the Reading Pilot, the Lewisboro Ledger, the Monroe Courier, the Eastern Courier, the Trumbull Times, Fairfield Sun, Shelton Herald, the Stratford Star, the Milford Mirror, and the Valley Gazette.
Hersam, Acorn, and HANradio.com. The leader in local news, sports, arts, and entertainment in southwestern Connecticut.
This is your coffee break on HANradio.com.
It's Monday, June 8th, and this is your coffee break on HANradio.com. I'm Kate Czaplinski here with John Kovach and Donald Eng. And guys, we have a lot of news to get to, including a very serious domestic incident in Trumbull yesterday. And on a more lighthearted note, we're going to bring in someone to talk about a great event that's coming up this weekend, a Civil War event, actually.
That's a very cool event, and it is a very busy news day.
Yes.
We also have a home invasion in Weston from Friday to discuss, plus a dangerous chemical leak and hazardous material situation in Ridgefield.
All right. Well, first, Don Eng, what's happening on the roads?
Okay, right now we just have, in the last 30 seconds or so, the DOT reports there is a crash I-95 northbound near exit 67 in Old Saybrook. That's got the left lane closed. Other than that, we've just got the normal road work in Orange Parkway northbound at exit 58. Also, Hamden, exit 60 until 3 o'clock today, the left lane closed. And Milford, 95 north at exit 40 until 3 o'clock, the left lane closed there also. Checking the weather, showers likely before noon, then mostly cloudy with a high near 73. Tonight, a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms before 10, and then more of a chance of showers between 11 or so. Chance of thunderstorms also continues after 11. Tomorrow, chance of showers and thunderstorms again afternoon. Some of the storms could produce hail and gusty winds, but Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday look good. Sunny with highs near 80 degrees. Right now it is 66 degrees with showers in the vicinity. In fact, one right outside our office, our studio in Shelton. 64 in Fairfield, 65 in Ridgefield. Coffee break time, 11:03.
Thanks, Don. John, what's happening in the news this morning?
Well, Kate, Weston police are seeking a suspect from a home invasion on 10 o'clock Lane Friday. A resident called 911 around noon to report she had been robbed at her home. Police say the suspect forced his way into the house where a struggle ensued with the resident. The woman was not injured, according to police. The suspect left the scene with a few items from the home. The suspect is described as a black man in his 50s, weighing about 200 pounds, with salt and pepper hair. He was wearing a gray shirt or sweatshirt, a black jacket, and blue jeans, and left the scene in an older model tan or gray vehicle, possibly American-made, according to police. The case is being investigated by Weston Police and the State Police Major Crime Squad Unit. Anyone with information is asked to call Weston Police 203-222-2600.
Thanks, John. Well, this is just in from Trumbull Police. A police standoff Sunday evening led to the arrest of a man who allegedly assaulted his girlfriend and reportedly fired shots in the direction of a neighbor. Around 7 o'clock Sunday night, police responded to the area of 270 Shelton Road after receiving a report from a neighbor that shots had been fired in his direction while the caller was outside. The caller said the blast from a shotgun came from across the street and pellets were striking a tree nearby. The witness had also seen a verbal and physical altercation between a man and woman at that home. Police surrounded the house, closed the area to traffic, and notified all the neighbors via reverse 911. The residents in 270 Shelton Road did not respond to police, who were communicating with them over a PA system, until about 90 minutes later, when a female victim emerged from the house with obvious signs of having been assaulted, police said. Her boyfriend, 55-year-old Greg Garathi, was allegedly drunk and struck her several times in the face and tried to strangle her with a shirt. Officers from the Southwest Emergency Response Team responded and continued to attempt to make contact with Garathi. Shortly after 10 o'clock, he emerged from the rear of the house and was taken into custody. He lives at that residence and was charged with third-degree assault, strangulation third-degree, interfering with an officer, and criminal possession of a firearm or ammunition. No weapon was recovered. However, a single shotgun round was located on the counter in the home. Coffee break time is 11:06.
According to the Associated Press, the body of a missing 24-year-old Stamford man has been found after he was reported missing last December. Stamford police say the body of Paulino Mendoza was found Saturday afternoon next to the boat docks in Cove Island Park. Mendoza appears to have been submerged for a long period of time, which police told the Associated Press makes it difficult to determine his cause of death. An autopsy is scheduled for today. Mendoza was reported missing by his family December 28th. After not returning home for 4 days, residents said he was out with friends and last seen Christmas Eve near Willowbrook and Cove Roads. Police said Mendoza immigrated to Stamford from his native country of Guatemala. He lived and worked in Stamford for several years.
Thanks, John. Well, a toxic gas released by combining the wrong household chemicals caused a house on Lewis Drive in Ridgefield to be evacuated and a hazmat team to be called in Friday. The Ridgefield Fire Department responded to 42 Lewis Drive after a report around 4:30 of a strong odor of chlorine. Fire Chief Kevin Tappy said muriatic acid was mixed with chlorine in a water treatment system. The reaction created dangerous chlorine gas. A handyman quickly experienced a burning sensation in his lungs, but Tappy said the man was fine. The homeowner opened doors and windows and called the fire department. By the time the hazmat team arrived from Danbury around 8 o'clock, the reaction had ceased, but firefighters were on the scene there for about 6 hours.
In New Canaan, a $4 million stone and shingled Georgian colonial sits pristinely at 388 Wahakamee Road. To most people, living in it would be a dream. To the woman who did, it was a nightmare, according to the New Canaan Advertiser. And now the house, with its 7 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, perfectly manicured grounds, pool, wine cellar, and home theater, sits eerily silent, with no signs of life from within. This is the house formerly occupied by the Farron family, J. Michael, Mary Margaret, and their 2 daughters. J. Michael Farron was sentenced to 15 years in prison last September for the attempted murder of his wife inside the house in 2010. The former White House deputy counsel under President George H.W. Bush was found guilty in Stamford Superior Court. He was charged with attempted murder, first-degree assault, and risk of injury to a minor. This past February on 2020, Mary Margaret Farron, herself an attorney, described for the first time the night of terror that almost cost her her life. She told of how he had attacked her in the bedroom after she had served him with divorce papers. Farron is now in prison, and Mary Margaret and the children have left the house, which has taken on an unsettled life of its own. Its ownership status remains unclear, according to the New Canaan Advertiser. Records at Town Hall tell no definitive tale, and one person with answers is not talking. If or when the property passes to a new owner, the New Canaan Advertiser asks, does the fact that a well-known and violent crime occurred there need to be revealed? You can read the full story at ncadvertiser.com. Coffee break time is 11:10. Coming up on time to take a look at the roads.
Not too much change in the last few minutes. With the emergency responders are on scene. I-95 northbound at exit 67. In Old Saybrook. That crash happened right as we came on the air. Other than that, we've got Roadwork Parkway northbound at exit 60 in Hamden until 3 o'clock today with the left lane closed. And also in Milford, 95 north at exit 40 until 3 o'clock today, the left lane closed there. And checking the weather, what you see outside is pretty much what you're going to have throughout the rest of the day. Showers, mostly cloudy, high near 73. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms continue. Tomorrow, chance of showers and thunderstorms again afternoon. Some of those storms could produce hail and gusty winds. And nice days coming Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Sunny with highs near 80. Right now, outside our Shelton studio, we are in the middle of a shower. 66 degrees, 65 in Fairfield, 68. The hot spot today in Ridgefield. Coffee break time, 11:10.
Thanks, Don. Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, you're going to give us a look back on this day in history. And we're also going to be taking a look at local sports, and that's coming up after this.
Your child has fallen and broken his arm. You need to see an orthopedist fast. Think Coastal Ortho Express in Norwalk. Don't wait hours in the ER. Save a trip and money by going straight to an orthopedic specialist at Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care in Norwalk. No appointment necessary. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, 203-845-2070. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or call 203-845-2070. Fast.
The long winter is finally astern. Bait is invading the harbors, coves, and inlets. Stripers, fluke, and porgies are on the move. In the streams and lakes, trout, smallmouth, largemouth, and walleye have moved out of hibernation. At the dock shop, it's all systems go. And now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, and their newest location at 609 Riverside Avenue in Westport. Bait, tackle, apparel, and of course, all the marine and nautical accessories that they're known for are ready for you at the dock shop. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport. Visit us at dockshop.com.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com.
Alliance. We are an industry leader in coordinating transportation for large events such as corporate road shows, conferences, and special events. Our team of experts understands the dynamics and logistics of high-pressure situations and complex arrangements, all within a rapidly changing environment. Since 1999, we have added charter jets, event management, and personal protection to our range of services. Mention this ad for $25 off your next round-trip reservation. Alliance and you. Together, we can achieve the extraordinary. 855-546-6996 or alliancelimo.com.
The biggest day in Connecticut lacrosse is around the corner, and you won't want to miss it. HAN Network's production team will be bringing you all 3 Connecticut Lacrosse Championship games in live streaming video through the CIAC and NFHS Network on Saturday, June 13th. This is Rob Adams. I'll have the play-by-play live from Brian McMahon High School. The 2015 Connecticut Lacrosse Championships through the CIAC and NFHS Network and produced by the HAN Network. Don't miss it.
Hersam Acorn and HANradio.com.
Welcome back to your coffee break on HANradio.com. John Kovach with Kate Czaplinski. Don Eng joining us for the first of what will be 2 history segments on this morning's coffee break.
Well, yes. Mine is a little bit farther back, but we're going to start in 632 CE. The Prophet Muhammad dies and is succeeded by Abu Bakr, who becomes the first caliph of the Rashidun Caliphate. The choice was disputed by some of Muhammad's companions, who held that Ali ibn Ali Talib, his cousin and son-in-law, had been designated the successor. That actually was the beginning of the Shia-Sunni split. The painting, by the way, depicts the angel Gabriel announcing Muhammad's first revelation. 793, Vikings raid the abbey at Lindisfarne in Northumbria. That's commonly referred to as the beginning of the Scandinavian invasion of England. Kate simply refers to it as Episode 2, Rollo is the man.
Yeah.
And that is a good look, I gotta say. That is a sharp look.
1949, the celebrities Helen Keller, Dorothy Parker, Danny Kaye, Frederick March, John Garfield, Paul Mooney, and Edward G. Robinson are all named communists in a report by the FBI. It's probably a coincidence, but on that same day, George Orwell's 1984 is published. Set in a dystopian future, 1984 introduced us to the concept of Big Brother, a semi-divine, all-knowing political leader who may not even exist. 1972, Associated Press photographer Nick Ut captures the most haunting image of the Vietnam War. That is 9-year-old Kim Phuc. She and her family were fleeing the village of Trang Bang, which had been attacked and occupied by North Vietnamese forces. A group of villagers were headed to the safety of South Vietnamese positions. A South Vietnamese Air Force pilot mistook the group for enemy soldiers and diverted the attack, dropping napalm on the group. Kim tore off her burning clothes, given virtually no chance to survive. She spent 16 months in the hospital before being allowed to return home. She has since become a naturalized Canadian citizen, and in 1997 established the Kim Phuc Foundation, with the aim of providing medical care and psychological assistance to child victims of war. And finally, our historical video. Cruise missiles tend to be useful for a lot of things. They've never actually delivered a nuclear bomb, but they have done something else. Like that.
In the mid-1950s, the Navy actually deployed Regulus aboard submarines. However, it was not considered an ideal weapon.
The submarines had to surface. Those cruise missiles were kept in hangars on the ship, and the missile came out onto a launch ramp. The wings unfolded. They were pointed off to one side and launched with a rocket assist until they were up on their own power, cruising on their own, and launched out to considerable range.
That is a Regulus cruise missile being launched from the deck of the USS Barbaro. The Navy and the U.S. Postal Service collaborated to use cruise missiles to deliver mail. After loading 3,000 pieces of mail into the warhead of the missile flew 22 minutes, landed at Cape Mayport just outside Jacksonville, Florida. Shockingly, cruise missile delivery of mail never really caught on. It was only attempted once on this day in 1959. That is your look back in history. And I am Donald Eng.
For what we pay to mail the simplest of things, I would think a cruise missile is warranted, if not deserved.
Wait, I don't know.
Just
40 cents to hand deliver a communication.
Yeah, me and Don are actually big fans of the U.S. Postal Service.
I'm a big fan of cruise missiles.
It's a pretty good deal.
I mean, for 40 cents to deliver it anywhere in the world, for what? For $1, they'll tell me that they delivered it. Yeah. For $10, they might actually bring back the person I mailed it to, and so he can confirm it.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Okay, all right, you sold me. All right, that's going to do it for history. Thanks, Don. Big week of sports coming up on HANradio.com. We've got semifinals in baseball. We got semifinals in softball, lacrosse, and we're going to be helping with the coverage of the Connecticut Lax Championships on Saturday. Joining us now with a look at the weekend, mostly quarterfinal action, setting the stage for this week, Alex Hager.
And it has been yet another exciting weekend in sports, and we are down to a narrowing field of teams in every tournament bracket. So we're down to the final four in CIAC baseball as it's semifinal time there. There's two FCX teams left in the Class LL bracket as Norwalk and Staples are set to square off in the first semifinal. The Bears knocked off top-seeded NFA in the quarters on Friday to earn their way into that game. And the winner of this one will take on Amity and Southington in the state final at Palmer Field. Rob Adams will have the call on both of those tomorrow afternoon. After Stamford, Greenwich, and Trinity were all knocked off in the quarters, only one other Fairfield County team is left standing. That's St. Joe's in the Class M bracket, taking on Montville to face the winner of East Catholic and Sheehan. Moving on to lacrosse, the championships are coming down to the wire now as well, as some lopsided contests on Saturday have lined up the Class L semis. Ridgefield topped Simsbury 15-6, Greenwich beat McMahon 19-5, and Darien squashed New Milford 16-6. Glastonbury in a close game there as they narrowly edged out Staples by a score of 12-11. So the finals will be on June 13th at Bryant McMahon, where Hersam Acorn Radio and the HAN Network crew will be around for the broadcast of all the day's lacrosse finals. Over in Class M, New Canaan and Wilton are hanging around after huge wins this weekend. They'll take on the winner of Daniel Hand and Notre Dame of West Haven on Championship Saturday. Finally, in Class S, the 10-seed St. Joe's is lined up against East Catholic after dominating Somers by a score of 17-4. They'll face the winner of Granby and Weston on the 13th as well. And there's a whole slate of girls lacrosse games as well, as a lot of high seeds are left in the Class L bracket. Those semifinal games are tomorrow afternoon, where Wilton challenges Simsbury and Darien takes on Conard in hopes of reaching the state championship. And it's a straight run of the top four teams in the Class M bracket. New Fairfield, New Canaan, Daniel Hand, and Barlow are the last teams remaining, vying for the finals on Saturday up at Bunnell. And the hand has been dealt as expected in the Class LL softball tournament as well. It's top seeds Southington and South Windsor in the first game there, and then in the 2-3 game, Cheshire and Darien. Both of those are at DeLuca Field tomorrow. And then in the Class M bracket, the preseason favorite St. Joe's is taking on Seymour in the first semifinal, and in the second, it's Oxford versus Tolland. The final of that game is at a to-be-determined site. That'll be on either Friday or Saturday of this week. And in the girls' tennis tournament, Darien narrowly edged out Staples to win their state championship. And that's all we got from this past weekend.
All right. Thanks, Alex. We will be back after a quick break, and we're going to take another look at history as it pays us a visit. You're listening to Coffee Break and watching on the Hersam Acorn Network.
It's Lots of Characters, specializing in children's birthday parties with your child's favorite characters. When you want to party hardy, when you need to celebrate, call us, we won't be late. We help create lasting memories for you and your child on their special day. Call us at 203-590-1791 or visit our website at lotsofcharacters.com. lotsofcharacters.org for more information and to see our party packages. Lots of Characters, 203-590-1791, or online at lotsofcharacters.org.
Located in the heart of picturesque downtown Ridgefield at 13 Governor Street, Colby's is the area's premier retailer for blinds, shades, shutters, and draperies, and is one of the select few Hunter Douglas Gallery dealers. A family-owned and operated company, Colby's experienced staff will work with you in choosing the best treatments for your home or office and offer free measuring and expert installation. Colby's also carries an extensive line of decorative fabrics including Schumacher, Durley, Tebow, and more. Or browse over 400 books in our wallpaper library from famous designers such as Stroheim, Schumacher, Ralph Lauren, Tebow, and York. Take advantage of our Fashion in Motion savings event with savings and rebates on Hunter Douglas shades with Power Rise technology. Colby's of Ridgefield. We are committed to your complete satisfaction. 203-438-8531.
The long winter is finally astern. Bait is invading the harbors, coves, and inlets. Stripers, fluke, and porgies are on the move. In the streams and lakes, trout, smallmouth, largemouth, and walleye have moved out of hibernation. At the dock shop, it's all systems go. And now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, and their newest location at 609 Riverside Avenue in Westport. Bait, tackle, apparel, and of course, all the marine and nautical accessories that they're known for are ready for you at the dock shop. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport. Visit us at dockshop.com.
Now you can keep up with what's happening in Darien with the convenience of the Darien Times Online. Your choice. Print or digital subscription for just $45 a year. Or get the print and digital bundle for just $10 more, $55 a year. To subscribe to the Darien Times, go to hersamsecure.com/CIRC or call the circulation department at 203-894-3388. The Darien Times, now in print and online. Don't miss a single issue. Subscribe today.
You're listening to Hersam Acorn Radio.
It's 11:25 on your coffee break on HANradio.com and live streaming at HANradio.com/livestream. Kate Czaplinski back with John Kovach, and we're joined now by Kevin Drake of Trumbull, who is helping to organize a Civil War event this weekend. Kevin, we're so happy to have you.
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you very much.
And you also, Kevin, you own a store in Gettysburg, correct? And a publishing company. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure, absolutely. I own Gettysburg Publishing, and we have a store in downtown Gettysburg called Battlefield Books and Gettysburg Battlefield Books and Collectibles. I invite anyone in your listening area to stop by. We'd love to meet another Connecticut Yankee, saying I'm outnumbered down in Gettysburg.
And how did your love, or interest in this historical time period start?
I often say the tentacles of Gettysburg grabbed me. I went down there to do some genealogy, and the next thing I know, I was studying and researching the battle. That led me to writing my first book, Texture Knowledge on the Battle of Gettysburg, and then I wrote another one called A Quiet Town No More about the civilians of Gettysburg. I'm very, very passionate about the human interest stories of all wars, but especially Gettysburg.
Mm.
What was it that drew you in?
I think how the little stories mean so much. I often talk about a lot of the human interest stories when I put on talks. For instance, the brother and brother. I'll give you a quick example. There was 2 brothers at Gettysburg. The Union soldiers were at the place called Oak Ridge, and as they were confronting the Confederates, they noticed a Confederate prisoner was hugging a Union soldier. Now, the men in the regiment looked at each other like, what is going on here? Well, what had happened was there were 2 brothers that came from Germany, the Schwartz brothers, and they met at Gettysburg. One basically captured the other one. Shortly after that, the Union one went off to battle and would be killed. But just to think about that, how they, the brother and brother.
Wow. And I know when we spoke for a story in the Trumbull Times on this event that's coming up June 14th, you told me a really sweet story about Sally, the dog. Can you share a little bit about
Sure.
that?
Well, I'm very passionate about animals. I have 4 rescue dogs myself. And Sally was a little brindle terrier given to the 11th Pennsylvania. And a lot of regiments had mascots, eagles, and some even had an alligator, a Florida regiment.
Wow.
So what happened was, just think, you're at battle, you're, marching with your troops all over the country, and here's this dog that just brings you memories of maybe the dog you might have at home. So she was given to the 11th Pennsylvania, and she would march with them. She would actually form in line. What they would do is form a line, and she would go to the flank, the end, and march with them and bark, and she was in battle with them. At Gettysburg, they were at a place called Oak Ridge, and they were overrun. And when they ran through the town of Gettysburg to Cemetery Ridge, they noticed that Sally was missing, and the men were very upset. So 4 days later, after the battle was over, they went back to that place to retrieve their wounded and dead, and they were picking up their wounded and their dead, and all of a sudden they noticed little Sally sitting right next to her men, growling at everyone, all the Confederates that came by and anyone. She would just sit there and growl because no one was going to touch her comrades. She was loyal to the end.
I know.
Now, unfortunately, Sally would be killed in the next battle, and during that battle, the men, with bullets whizzing by, were crying, digging a grave for Sally. So years after the war was over, they wanted to put monuments at Gettysburg, and one of the monuments to 11th Pennsylvania, they said that they wanted to put a soldier, which is there today on Oak Ridge, but each one of the veterans insisted little Sally be there on that monument. So if you go to Gettysburg today and you look at the 11th Pennsylvania monument and you go in the back of it, you'll see little Sally laying there.
We have the picture up right now on the screen.
She's looking over those same fields and guarding her wounded comrades.
Oh, that's amazing. And so because of just this interest that you've found and all these amazing stories, is that why you wanted to bring something to this area and to Trumbull?
I did. I've lived in Trumbull most of my life, and one day I was on Little Round Top. That's a place on the battlefield, and there was no one there, which is odd. And I was just sitting there after closing up the store, and I'm like, this is the most beautiful sight. I so want to bring this back to Connecticut and share it with the people of Trumbull, not only Trumbull, but your entire listening area. So I was fortunate enough to, I belong to 2 wonderful organizations, the Trumbull Lions Club and the Trumbull Historical Society. And I brought to the attention of the president of the Lions, Jeff Cook, and the presidents of the Historical Society, Samantha Klein and Lois Levine, and they loved the idea. And I mean, these are 2 wonderful organizations that do so much for the town that I wanted to share it with them and make this an event, which we're doing. And it's going to be held this Sunday, June 14th from 11 to 5. We're going to have reenactors. We're going to have singers. We have people that are going to sing period songs. We're going to have speakers. Yours truly will be speaking as well. And we're going to have an actual Civil War museum with Connecticut articles. Jeff Cook has a wonderful display of ID'd swords and guns used by soldiers in the battle. Wow. A Civil War museum will be in there. I mean, a bigger part of the Civil War Medical Museum will also be there as well.
And this event is rain or shine, right?
Rain or shine.
We're
praying for sun. Oh, boy, are we praying for sun.
And what I think is interesting is you guys want to make this an annual event, but perhaps focusing on a different war.
That's correct. Our idea was, we're calling it Trumbull Remembers, so it would be the Civil War this year. Next year, we're looking to do World War II. And one of the ideas that we had was we wanted to interview veterans of World War II, not just from Trumbull, from your entire listening area, of course, Connecticut. I mean, because we really all are in it together. And these brave men and women of our armed forces, past and present, they really are heroes, and they really need to be remembered. So we're going to do World War II next year, the year after that, the Revolutionary War, and we're hoping that this is a very educational program rather than just like a country or town fair. We want this to be an educational but fun event for everyone.
Wow. And so you're working on interviewing veterans, correct?
Correct. Wife spoke to a couple, and I said, this would be a wonderful opportunity for people to get to know the heroes in their own backyard. You may see an elderly gentleman at the supermarket, and you may say, he's got a World War II hat on, but you don't know his story. how wonderful would it be if you could see him up on the screen? So the next time you see him, thank you, sir, for your service. But to, have his story, I saw what you said and just resonated with me so well. To me, that's gold. And that should be, something that we really, grasp and respect with our veterans today.
I agree. So anything else people need to know about this weekend's event?
I would say come with an open mind, because you're going to learn a lot, and you're going to realize that the Civil War, it's more of the romantic war. People remember Gone with the Wind and how romantic it was. To me, there's so many little stories in the Civil War that just make it just so wonderful. I mean, I'll give you a real short one. When the Union Army had to retreat from day one of Gettysburg, because it was a 3-day battle. They were up on Oak Ridge, and they retreated through town. Well, a lot of them were wounded, so they would take, shelter in any of the homes in the town. Well, happened to be that one of the Union soldiers, a young 19-year-old Irish immigrant, was shot in the calf, and he found shelter in one of the homes. Shortly after, the Confederates came through, and the first thing they do is take their shoes, because the Confederate Army were really ill-equipped. And this boy was terrified. There's about 5 or 6 other Union soldiers. And all of a sudden, this big man came in, big Confederate with a big red beard, almost like a Viking. And the average height was like 5'8" back then. And this man had to be like 6'7", a monster. And he looks down at this young boy and he says, "Aye, where you be from, boy?" And he looks up, he goes, "I'm from Ireland." And the big Confederate, "From Ireland, you say? What part of Ireland you be from?" And he looks up, he goes, "I'm from Kilkenny." And all of a sudden, the Confederate's face starts to soften. He goes, "I'm from Kilkenny." He goes, "Aye, boy, you wouldn't happen to know the Bishop of the Black Abbey now, would you?" The young soldier looks up and he says, "Aye, he's my uncle." The big Confederate looks down and goes, "Bless my soul, I was baptized by him, So he kneels down, he goes, "Here, boy, take a big swig of this whiskey." He opens a bottle of whiskey, pours it down this kid's throat. And all of a sudden, the kid's like, "I'm saved, And so the big Confederate stands up, and he looks at the other Confederates, goes, "Give him back his stuff." Now the Confederates like, "What? We just conquered. This stuff is going with us." The big Confederate looks at him again. He says, Give him back his stuff. Would you like me to take it from you, by Jesus?" So each one of the Confederates put the stuff in back of this kid. He probably had more stuff than he had before he started.
Wow. So, Kevin, I'm expecting that this weekend, June 14th, that people are going to hear stories like that and a lot more if they come to the event.
Absolutely. And, I invite everyone, please make an effort to come down. This is something I want to start, and I want to just grow, through the ages. Hopefully we'll run out of wars,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you know what? It would be a wonderful thing to have everyone involved in this.
Right. Well, Kevin Drake, who's helping to organize Trumbull Remembers the Civil War, thank you so much for coming on Coffee Break and talking with us.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
All right. And if you want more information about that event, there is a story up at TrumbleTimes.com. The Trumbull Historical Society also has information up on that event. But we are going to take a break, and we'll be back with more news, sports, and weather after this.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com.
Did you know that taking dance lessons is a great date night idea? Arthur Murray Grand Ballroom of Greenwich is a fabulous place to learn to dance and meet new people. Located at 6 Lewis Street, our studio is staffed with professional instructors ready to teach you salsa, waltz, rumba, hustle, tango. There's a dance for every season. And we are rated #1 on the Knot.com. We are the wedding dance specialists. Take advantage of our new student offer, only $49. Call 203-769-1800. Visit us online at arthurmurraygreenwich.com.
It's easy to advertise on HANradio.com, reach 263,000 listeners each month with our sports programming and talk programming. Call Marianne Hersam at 203-417-5199.
Hersam Acorn and HANradio.com.
Welcome back to your coffee break, presented by Stratford Orthodontics on HANradio.com. John Kovach with Kate Czaplinski. Alex Hager will be joining us for sports in a little bit. Let's take a look at the weather and roads with Donald Eng.
Okay, well, in the last few minutes, there's just been a couple of small things that the DOT has reported. First of all, we've got a crash in Manchester, I-384 west at exit 1. Also, road work in Milford, 95 southbound at exit 34. That's Bridgeport Avenue. That will continue for the next couple of hours. That joins the other road work in Milford that we were looking at 95 north at exit 40. That's continuing until 3. And the road work in between Orange and Hamden, exits 58 to 60. That's the Route 34 exits there. Road work there continuing until 3 o'clock. As far as the weather goes, showers throughout the day. Otherwise, mostly cloudy with a high near 73, dropping back down into the 60s tonight as the showers and thunderstorm chance continues. Tomorrow, more showers and more thunderstorms possible, and some of those could produce hail and gusty winds. But the good news is, sunny days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday coming, highs near 80 all 3 days. Right now, it is lightly raining and 65 degrees outside our Shelton studios, 63 in Fairfield, 64 in Ridgefield. Coffee break time is 11:37.
Thanks, Don. Well, getting back to some news this morning, the Shelton Planning and Zoning Commission reached an informal consensus at its June 2nd meeting to back the plan for a 68-unit apartment complex at 223 Canal Street. Developer John Geddes has proposed a 3 to 4-story complex with 106 parking spaces, both under the building and in outdoor side parking lots. Existing buildings would be demolished to make way for new construction. Geddes would grant rights of way to the city to widen Canal Street in the front and extend the Riverwalk in the rear along the Housatonic River. The so-called Brennan property is almost 1.3 acres and just north of the Avalon apartment complex. Geddes is now just asking to modify the current concept plan for the property and will need to still get more specific site plan approval. An informal consensus among planning and zoning members means that zoning staff has been directed to work on drafting an approval resolution, which will be discussed and voted on during a future meeting. Coffee break time is 11:38.
It was a halogen light placed next to bedding and cloth upholstery that ignited the fire that claimed the life of a 78-year-old Ridgefield woman on April in Cook Close at the Casagamo complex. Sandra Reyes was killed in a fire that also injured her son, both of whom were rushed to the Bridgeport Hospital burn unit for treatment. The Ridgefield Fire Marshal and Connecticut Fire and Explosive Investigations Unit ruled that the fire was accidental, saying that a halogen light with a clip-on attachment was clipped to a wooden table, the lamp too close to an upholstered sofa, and a full-size bed on the first floor of the condominium. Both had bedding material and clothing on them, which ignited given the heat of the halogen lamp. Coffee break time's coming up on 11:40.
Thanks, John. Well, Charles Valentino, Fairfield County's last high sheriff who hunted down delinquent taxpayers under mayors John Fabrizi and Bill Finch, surrendered to state police Monday morning after a warrant was issued for his arrest. State police said the 67-year-old Valentino confiscated hundreds of cars from city residents during several years through an agreement he had with city officials, but instead of ensuring the cars' owners paid back their taxes, he sold the cars to keep the money for himself, according to the Connecticut Post. Valentino of Waverly Place was charged with 18 counts of second-degree forgery and 18 counts of criminal impersonation. And in a second arrest warrant, Valentino was charged with 3 counts of criminal impersonation for allegedly carrying out evictions as a state marshal, even though he had been forced to resign from that position for allegedly perjuring himself. Valentino was being held in lieu of a $750,000 bond pending arraignment in Superior Court later today. His lawyer, John Goulash, declined comment.
Kate, there are a few details, but 2 men were rushed to the emergency room this morning after a knife fight at a residence on Patch Street in Danbury. We'll get you more details as they are revealed. Your coffee break time is 11:42. Let's take a look at the roads and the weather with Don again.
Okay, it's actually pretty busy out there right now. We have 3 new items just reported by the DOT in the last few minutes, other than the other crashes and the road work we've had throughout the morning. In Trumbull Parkway South, exit 48. Until 3 o'clock today, the right lane is closed. Also, Stratford 95 South at exit 31 until 3, the left lane closed there also. And Milford roadwork 95 North at exit 40 until 3, the left lane closed. As we were saying with the weather, showers and thunder showers possible throughout the day, the night, and tomorrow. But it does clear out for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all looking good. Coffee break time, 11:41.
All right, thanks, Don. We are going to take a quick break, come back, and take another look at sports as we get ready for state semifinals week and the state championships coming up this weekend. Produced by HANradio.com on the lacrosse end. You're listening to and watching Coffee Break.
It's Lots of Characters, specializing in children's birthday parties with your child's favorite characters. When you want to party hardy, when you need to celebrate, call us, we won't be late. We help create lasting memories for you and your child on their special day. Call us at 203-590-1791 or visit our website at lotsofcharacters.org for more information and to see our party packages. Lots of Characters, 203-590-1791 or online at lotsofcharacters.org.
Located in the heart of picturesque downtown Ridgefield at 13 Governor Street, Colby's is the area's premier retailer for blinds, shades, shutters, and draperies, and is one of the select few Hunter Douglas Gallery dealers. A family-owned and operated company, Colby's experienced staff will work with you in choosing the best treatments for your home or office and offer free measuring and expert installation. Colby's also carries an extensive line of decorative fabrics including Schumacher, Durley, Tebow, and more. Or browse over 400 books in our wallpaper library from famous designers such as Stroheim, Schumacher, Ralph Lauren, Tebow, and York. Take advantage of our Fashion in Motion savings event with savings and rebates on Hunter Douglas shades with Power Rise technology. Colby's of Ridgefield. We are committed to your complete satisfaction. 203-438-8531.
The long winter is finally astern. Bait is invading the harbors, coves, and inlets. Stripers, fluke, and porgies are on the move. In the streams and lakes, trout, smallmouth, largemouth, and walleye have moved out of hibernation. At the dock shop, it's all systems go. And now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, and their newest location at 609 Riverside Avenue in Westport. Bait, tackle, apparel, and of course, all the marine and nautical accessories that they're known for are ready for you at the dock shop. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport. Visit us at dockshop.com.
Now you can keep up with what's happening in Darien with the convenience of the Darien Times Online. Your choice. Print or digital subscription for just $45 a year. Or get the print and digital bundle for just $10 more, $55 a year. To subscribe to the Darien Times, go to hersamsecure.com/CIRC or call the circulation department at 203-894-3388. The Darien Times, now in print and online. Don't miss a single issue. Subscribe today.
You're listening to Hersam Acorn Radio.
11:45 on your coffee break on HANradio.com and streaming on the Hersam Acorn Network. Kate Czaplinski, John Kovach, and Alex Hager is back to give us another look at local sports.
Thank you very much, Kate. And yet again, I will tell you, we're down to the Final Four in SEAC baseball. There's 2 FCAC teams left in the Class Double-L bracket as Norwalk and Staples are set to square off in the first semifinal. The Bears knocked off top-seeded NFA in the quarters on Friday to earn their way in, and the winner of that game will take on the winner of Amity and Southington in the state final at Palmer Field. Rob Adams will have the call on both of those tomorrow afternoon. After Stamford, Greenwich, and Trinity were all knocked off in the quarters, only one other Fairfield County team is left standing, and that is St. Joe's, who's in the Class M bracket, taking on Montville to face the winner of East Catholic and Sheehan in the final. Lacrosse championships coming down to the wire now, as well as some lopsided contests on Saturday have lined up the Class L semis. Ridgefield topped Simsbury 15-6, Greenwich beat McMahon 19-5, and Darien squashed New Milford 16-6. Glastonbury, though, narrowly edged out Staples in a 12-11 victory. So the finals will be on June 13th at Bryan McMahon, where Hersam Acorn Radio and the HAN Network will be around for the broadcast of all of the day's lacrosse finals. Over in Class M, New Canaan and Wilton are hanging around after huge wins this weekend. They'll take on the winner of Daniel Hand and Notre Dame of West Haven on Championship Saturday. And finally, in Class S, the 10-seed St. Joe's is lined up against East Catholic after dominating Somers by a score of 17-4. They'll face the winner of Granby and Weston on the 13th as well. There's a whole slate of girls' lax games as well, as a lot of high seeds are left in the Class L bracket. The semifinal games are tomorrow afternoon, where Wilton challenges Simsbury and Darien takes on Conard in hopes of reaching the state championship. A straight run of the top 4 teams in Class M are still around. New Fairfield, New Canaan, Daniel Hand, and Barlow are the last teams remaining, vying for the finals on Saturday up at Bunnell. The hand has been dealt as expected in the Class LL softball tourney, as well as all 4 top seeds are still contending. It's number 1 Southington and South Windsor in the first semifinal, the winner of which will take on the winner of Cheshire and Darien. South Windsor punched their ticket with a 1-0 win, bringing Stamford's miracle run to a close. Darien earned their way in by beating Newtown. That was a tight one that ended in a 3-2 score. Both of the semifinal games are held tomorrow afternoon at DeLuca Field. Class L Boys Volleyball Championships coming up soon, too. Top seed Ridgefield is going up against Xavier tonight, while Darien and Shelton play tomorrow at 6 up at Fairfield Ludlow. The finals are on Friday in Shelton. Last but not least, the girls' tennis season came to a close on Friday, and in the Class L bracket, Darien beat Staples by a score of 4-0 to win the state championship. That's all I got for you today.
That's it?
That's it. There's only so much to say.
A little disappointed in you, Alex.
But it is a great time to get to the Final Four now. And as we said, the lacrosse championships are Saturday at Bryan McMahon, triple header. The HAN network will produce the coverage for the CIAC and NFHS network. Really excited about that opportunity. There were 3 great games that we brought you audio of last year from Bryan McMahon. Really looking forward to that. 11:49 on your coffee break. Kate, what else is happening around southwestern Connecticut?
Well, John, the wife of New Canaan's police chief, Leon Krolikowski, has been told by a judge in Stamford Superior Court that she must comply with Police Sergeant John Milligan's defense team's request and turn over phone records of calls she had with Carol Harvey over a specific period of time. This is a story that the New Canaan Advertiser has been covering a lot, John, and that we've talked to Michael Katarivas about before a couple times on our shows.
Complex, multi-layered story.
Very. But Harvey is a friend of Anna Krolikowski, and Chief Krolikowski has testified during the current New Canaan Police Commission hearing on the recommended termination of Milligan's employment that he found out about Milligan's insurance issue from his wife, Anna, who allegedly heard it from her friend. Considering that insurance and other personnel records are supposedly secure and private, the defense wants to know how Harvey heard about it. The development impacts the continuing police commission hearing regarding whether Milligan should face termination or other discipline regarding his having had his ex-wife inappropriately on town health insurance for about 4 years, which cost the town about $33,000 in premiums. Milligan has not contested that she was indeed on his plan. New Canaan Town Council Floyd Dugas has been trying to show that Milligan should have known she was on the insurance and likely kept her on intentionally, while Milligan claims he was simply unaware of the situation. Milligan's defense team wants to show that events leading up to the hearing prove Krolikowski and perhaps other high-ranking town officials held a grudge and went above and beyond the norm to seal Milligan's fate. That is where the phone records come in. The defense also wants to find if there were an unusual number of phone calls between Anna Krolikowski and Harvey after it became known to them that they could be involved in the Milligan hearing. So there's a lot more on that story at ncadvertiser.com.
Not going anywhere for a while. That is interesting. Some intrigue in Shelton, where Shelton Board of Education Chairman Mark Holden is concerned that the school district's annual budget issues could impact the ability to find the best qualified new superintendent. This after School Superintendent Freeman Burr unexpectedly announced that he would leave office in December. In making his announcement, Burr cited the district's annual budget battles with city officials as the main reason that he would resign. Holden said he believes there are now 9 school districts in Connecticut searching for superintendents, including Shelton, with a limited pool of potential candidates. That creates a competitive hiring environment, and Holden said communities where municipal officials are considered more supportive financially of school systems will have an advantage. You can read more on this at sheltonherald.com.
Thanks, John. Well, in other Shelton news, resident Al Meadows recently received 2 awards at the West Point Military Academy. The Corporation for National and Community Service presented Meadows with the President's Gold Volunteer Service Award that included a congratulatory letter from President Barack Obama and a lapel pin with the White House insignia. He was also presented a certificate of appreciation and a West Point Volunteer Recognition Medallion from West Point Brigadier General J.T. Thomas III for his volunteer efforts in creating and coordinating Operation Gift Cards for wounded soldiers. Through Operation Gift Cards, 71 organizations have co-sponsored the 120 visits to the Walter Reed National Military Medical Hospital in Bethesda, Maryland, while delivering almost $1 million in post-exchange gift cards and corporate donations to wounded troops and their families. And I have to say, as the former Shelton Herald editor, I worked a lot with Al, and he was just an amazing, dedicated guy. If you want more information on Operation Gift Cards, you can email Al Meadows at al.meadows@snet.net.
Ridgefield stands ready for hurricane season with an emergency shelter suitable for 250 people prepared at the Ridgefield Recreation Center on Danbury Road and more than 100 volunteers trained to do their part. Emergency Operations Center would be set up at the Yanity Gym off Prospect Street. Dick Ahrens, Deputy Director of Emergency Management and manager of the Emergency Operations Center, said some 100 residents are on a call list to work at the shelter. The 2015 Atlantic hurricane season began Monday, June 1st. It continues through November 30th. The main threat for Connecticut is considered to come mid-August through mid-October. You can read more about Ridgefield's preparedness at theridgefieldpress.com.
Well, some good news for residents of Weston who are on the road repaving list. Milling and paving work is expected to start the last week of June and continue periodically on Cedar Lane, Carthbridge Road, Blueberry Hill Road, Ladder Hill North, Old Kellogg Hill Road, and Kellogg Hill Road. The road work is expected to continue through the end of July, according to Joe Lametta, Director of Public Works. Motorists are urged to use caution and allow extra time to travel, especially when traveling on these roads and in the immediate area. This is just the time of year when you know you're probably going to get delayed due to some road work going on, but it's a good thing.
We'll hear that in Don's report. And
yes.
You don't get segues better than that.
Wait, what? Okay, no. I just, sorry about that. Hang on one second here as I just scan through one last thing here on Twitter. I just wanted to make sure that we're up to date here. We have the DOT announcements that we've been talking about. We've got roadwork in Trumbull, Parkway South, exit 50. Also, an accident Manchester 384 West at exit 1, and more roadwork Milford Parkway South. I'm sorry, I-95 South. That's the opposite of the Parkway at exit 34. And that accident in Old Saybrook has been cleared, so traffic moving there nicely. As far as the weather goes, sunny. Boy, I'm all sorts of out of sorts today. Mostly cloudy today.
Trying to burn through.
Mostly cloudy today. High in the low 70s. Chance of showers and thunderstorms throughout the day and tonight and into tomorrow. But as I said earlier, the good news is Wednesday, the sun comes back out with a high of 78, warming up into the low 80s by Friday. Coffee break time is 11:55.
Thanks, Don. Well, speaking of the roads, it's not a figment of anyone's imagination that it's harder to escape a parking ticket in downtown Ridgefield than it was a couple of years ago. A report from the Ridgefield Parking Authority shows that parking ticket violations have increased since the 2011-2012 year, when just over 3,000 tickets of $15 fines raised about $34,000 for the town. In 2013 to 15, however, 3,497 tickets raised almost $50,000. The change is most noticeable in the back-to-school month of September, when there were 42 tickets totaling $775 in 2011-2012, and a dramatic increase of 307 tickets totaling over $4,000 in 2013-14. The reason for the uptick in tickets is not so much that people are overstaying, authority accounts. The parking ticket totals include both downtown and Branchville parking lots. There are currently 2 part-time parking enforcement workers providing full coverage Monday through Friday. There is no enforcement on weekends. In 2011-2012, there was mostly just 1 part-time worker assigned to enforce the regulations. You can read more on that at theridgefieldpress.com, and this is also good information to know when we go to our Ridgefield studio.
Yeah, we need to...
There was always like a day off. We'd always get to say, oh, they won't be out today, but sounds like they're
Well,
fully
that
covered.
and the broadcast is always good, because whenever we come back from break and someone's missing, they've run out to the parking lot
move their
to
car.
move their car.
Oh,
yeah.
Remember the Fridays when we did it from Ridgefield?
Mhm.
Oh, wow, I've been parked for 4 hours. Been on for there. Yeah, there's no way.
What?
Maybe they didn't notice my car.
Maybe they didn't notice it.
No, they noticed.
It blended in. That's it. It's hiding. In Milford, Foreign High School has a new assistant principal. That's Sean Brennan. Brennan has been serving as interim assistant principal at Foreign High School. Was also previously dean of students. Prior to that, a math teacher at Foreign. Also has been director of the enrichment summer school.
Thanks, John. Well, after months of work, a Girl Scout troop in Shelton is accomplished its goal of learning about and changing the lives of breast cancer patients in Connecticut. Last fall, the troop, through several planning meetings, identified that each girl had a personal connection to cancer patients, specifically breast cancer patients, and making their world a better place would be the focus of the troop's Girl Scout Bronze Award. The troop invited a breast cancer survivor and a nurse specializing in oncology to troop meetings, where they explored the realities of cancer treatment and how they can be helped. After much deliberation, the Scouts decided wigs and comfort caps were the most direct way the Scouts could help. Though through money-earning activities, the Scouts raised money to buy 2 wigs and several comfort caps. Troop members are 5th graders at Perry Hill School, and that's just a nice story.
That is a great little story. It's a great story to end on. That's going to do it for your coffee break this Monday morning. We will be back tomorrow with more news, sports, traffic, and weather from southwestern Connecticut. Thanks for listening to a Watching Coffee Break, presented by Stratford Orthodontics.
Hersam, Acorn, and HANradio.com. The leader in local news, sports, arts, and entertainment in southwestern Connecticut.
Want to get in touch with HAN Radio? You can find us on Twitter at Hersam Radio, on Facebook at Hersam Acorn Radio, or email us at radio@hersamacorn.com.